Councilman Hughes, you're still muted.
And what I was saying was so good. Now it's gone. I just wanted to say to Councilman Markham and Councilwoman Wallace, I wish you the best in your next endeavor. And I've really enjoyed working with both of you. Learned a lot from both of you. And I think it's we've been, like, both of you have been such great assets to council. You really have. And it's disappointing to see you go, but things do move and change as we all know, especially within the city of Newark. Net growth and change is oftentimes good. So the only other thing I wanted to say was I've had some feedback from some residents in my district and a few from other districts regarding their opinion on how the city of Newark is doing with the COVID guidelines and the issues surrounding, the new normal. And I have received people believe, and I agree, that we've done a really great job. The city of Newark has done a really great job, and we have moved along with the whole process has been difficult, but I think that everybody, the staff, and everyone within the city of Newark has done just an outstanding job, and it feels good to be a part of that. So that is all I have for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Wallace.
Thank you, Your Honor. Oh, excuse me. First, I would just like to thank my fellow council members. It's been a pleasure working with you. Believe it or not, I'm going to miss this. I also want to say to my constituents, it's been a pleasure and an honor to serve you. It's a hard job, more so than one would think. Not sitting on the dais, and I've learned a lot, and I hope I've given back even more. I would like to call out both our city manager and our city secretary. I've enjoyed working with both of you. I think that I appreciate I appreciate your professionalism and how you interact with constituents. I feel that the city is being taken care of by our current staff, and that extends to other staff as well. I think we're in a very different position than when I first came on council, and I think that's all very, very good. I also would like to say that I do plan on staying involved as an engaged resident, particularly if anything comes up that really piques my interest or my concern. I may take some time off, but I'll always be paying attention. And I just would like to throw it out there that at some point I would like to come back to serving on council. I do think there's a steep learning curve to this job, and there is some benefit in staying on for some period of time. I don't think we need to have council members stay on for their entire lives, but I think there's some value in having someone with some continuity. But I just need to take a break right now. So, but I hope at some point that I can come back, or serve the city in another capacity. So, and I would also like to say that I am disappointed that council did not choose to vote to add the emergency ordinance that staff put forward. I apologize, I did not bring up this discussion at that time. It happened a little too quickly for me,
being on a remote call here. So I just think that our first concern is health and safety. And I thought the ordinance was reasonable and is something that should be enacted sooner rather than later. So with that, I will end my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Hamilton.
Thank you. Stu and Jen, holy cow, this has been a great experience working with you two. You are both so calm, and that's completely the opposite of where I come from usually. And I've appreciated your class and your dignity, the way you handled yourselves outside of the council chamber, as well as especially inside. I've learned a lot, and I think you have represented your constituents well, and you've helped get us through some rather challenging times. So I think we're going to miss your leadership and your abilities to bring a calm to some of our bigger challenges. Stu, you still owe us a beer. I know that COVID isn't your fault, but somehow this timed out so that you couldn't join us. But someday I hope to be able to have you join us somewhere along Main Street or somewhere in Newark. I think you'll both stay active, and I'll have you both on speed dial for because I think I'm going to need your help, if only for a little bit. But I'd appreciate if you guys would take my calls in the future. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Councilman Walhorn.
Oh, thank you, Your Honor. I would also like to thank Councilman Markham and Councilperson Wallace for their work over the many years that they've served. It was Councilwoman Wallace mentioned it's a steep learning curve. It definitely is, and they were very helpful to me in my first term. So as I tried to get up to speed, so I wanted to thank them for that and thank them for their service. I may or may not be back here shortly. I hope I am, but if I'm not, I would like to say also that our staff is tremendous. I think Newark is in good hands with our staff and with this council where it is right now. So a lot of appreciation for everyone there, and to Councilwoman Wallace and Councilman Markham. They're also good. Getting to know them over the last 2 years, they're just good individuals, good people, and I wish them the best in whatever they're doing next in their lives. The other thing I wanted to comment on is I know there's obviously for good reason a lot of discussion around the COVID-19 concerns, and concerns are valid. I think what we're seeing across the nation even is that there's some places that are doing it right and some places that are doing it wrong, and you see it in the data. I think Delaware so far is for the most part doing it right, and there's been a couple hot spots here and there, but even, the big in the news last week was down in the beach area. There were some restaurants that were, had some pretty irresponsible behavior. But even with that, the way the state and the I don't know who managed it, if it was municipalities down there, managed it with the increased testing that we have now and the quick turnaround times on that, they were able to manage it so that even already looking at the data the last few days, our numbers are lower than they've been through this whole crisis. So it does show that if you're smart and you do things the right way, it can be managed. And if you avoid events like what happened down there to begin with, obviously that's very important. But that I think the key things are educating our public, so we continue to do that. I'm happy to hear that our staff is meeting with the University of Delaware soon to understand what the students are doing and what the university's plan is, so that we can respond to that. And I think there's smart ways to do that. And I'm glad we're going to have those discussions in the future. But I think there are ways to be smart and enter. And I think also people should keep in mind that we don't know how long we're going to have to deal with this. We're hoping for a vaccine at some point, but it could be another year. We may be dealing with this next summer. So I think we also have to have some consideration to dealing with this thing over the long term and how it's going to impact all parts of our lives and how we can maintain safe behavior for what may be a long period of time, and how we'll live with that. So I just wanted to mention that. Other than that, I don't have any other items. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Markham.
Thank you, Your Honor. Actually, COVID, I think, has saved you guys, because I probably would have had a prepared going away statement that would have taken quite some time to read, but I won't do that to you guys tonight. My wife is going to ask why my head is a little bigger tonight, and I will tell her that it's council's comments. So I do want to thank council president, and I also want to thank the past council members, and because they've helped me, shaped me, and believe it or not, I was a rookie 14 years ago as well. My constituents have been great. They've supported me. They've provided me information, and they've questioned me, which is that's pretty good. And I'll say, I'm not perfect. There's no way anybody could claim that I claimed that, but I tried to make the best decisions with what I knew, who I'd talked to, and there my record shall stand. We have a very good staff. You should be very proud of them and the work that they can get done, considering the size of the staff in particular areas. And I will call out also Renee and Tom. They are very, very talented, and they put up with a lot. And hopefully they will hang in there and not get jaded in as their experiences go on. We have a great city. There's a lot of uniqueness to this city, and the people who live here, the students who come and go, contribute, and we're always growing. I mean, people may say it's not always for the best, but I like to say the city is alive. I've been in other cities at times throughout the years, and they haven't. It just didn't have that life in them that Newark has. So I think we have a great city here. Maybe you'll see me around. I don't know. I'm going to do a little bit of retirement, and if you call me, I guarantee you I'll have an opinion for you. But I certainly will be back to see you all in person. I think when you can meet back in the dais, and it'll be good to see the faces. But I want to thank everybody. I'll be signing off tonight. That is the plan come any natural disaster or anything else that might be hanging out there. So let's hope that's not hanging out there. But this will be sign off tonight when this meeting is done. And thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate all your help you've given me over the years. You helped mentor me at the very beginning. And to Councilperson Wallace, while we got off to a shaky start in the beginning, we certainly, I think, found our common ground and understood where we were. So rather than trying to think of more things to say, I'm going to say thank you to everybody. And it's been great serving with you and serving with the city. And thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. I will say that, I can't tell each of you, even though Jen and I haven't had much interactions, but I've always had a deep appreciation for the thoughtfulness and the thoroughness, just like used to, that you approach things. And I know that whether we agree or disagree with each of you, that it's well thought out, it's well researched. And to Councilwoman Wallace, I remember her when Mayor Funk stepped down, and as deputy mayor, I was sitting in the middle seat during the power plant issues, and I would have to say you served your community extremely well under some of the what could be described as darkest times in recent memory in any case. And I know I always appreciate what you brought before the dais, and I appreciate you even more on this side the dais. And I wish you well. To Councilman Markham, wow, it's hard to believe that we go back to 2006. But you know, again, I've always appreciated your approach to things, your insight, your IT advice, and you too have served your constituents very, very well. So for the two of you, this is I got to really say, and with from the heart, that this is a bittersweet moment for me, because I've learned to appreciate both of you, and I have the highest respect. And I agree with Councilman Markham. The councils we've had have been, whether I voted with or against other council members, have been some of the most decent, honorable, moral people I've ever worked with. And I hope the city of Newark appreciates what we've had in the past, what we have now, and certainly the work of Councilwoman Wallace and Markham, because you exemplify what government should be. Now, if you could just take that message 120 miles south of here down 95, it could be a big help to us. But again, thank you to both. A couple quick things that I have, and I wanted to put this on the council's radar screen, but also on city manager's radar screen. Had a great conversation with someone who lives off of Cascio Mill Road, and his suggestion was, because the Cascio Mill underpass is almost like a bullfight in Spain from time to time, that we look at ways of prioritizing one side or another, or have a lighting system that would be a definitive to stop traffic in one way and let them go in another way, or something that, from a technical standpoint, doesn't sound like it would be very difficult using the photo ray beams and so forth to give a more definitive approach to it. So I told him a few weeks ago when we had the conversation, I would bring it up tonight. And something that, some good news, that I received a phone call about 3 hours ago from a Gerald and Asha Hunter. And they own a beauty salon in the Canby Park area of Wilmington, as they have for a decade now. They are actually moving their business down to Newark, and he's very proud of the fact that this will probably, it is called Studio H, Beauty and Barber Salon, LLC. And we think, at least, that this is probably the first Black-owned barber beauty salon that will be in Newark. And it will be located at the shopping center in District 2, across from Boston Market, at 1013 South College Avenue. The lease is signed. They're looking to have it fitted out and open just after Labor Day. And he wanted to let me know what he was doing, and I told him that when I mentioned this tonight at the council meeting, I think council, along with myself and our staff, will be ecstatic to hear that that he chose Newark to come and do business. And he lives, the two live just outside Newark. And so I wanted to pass that on, and he invited me down for a ribbon cutting, but I did explain to him most people don't just use sharp instruments, but I would be there. So something to look forward to on South College Avenue. So with that, thank you, Madam Secretary. Do we have any public comment?
Yes, I have one comment to read into the record, and then we have another person who has requested comment. The first comment is from Brian Anderson in District 5. It reads, Mayor Clifton and members of the council, I would like to begin by thanking the mayor for his extraordinary leadership during this COVID crisis. I bring to the council's attention the issue of the building at 20 Country Club Drive at Fairfield Apartments. This building represents an aesthetic, health, safety, and environmental concern. It suffered a catastrophic fire about 10 months ago, and nothing has been done to repair the structure. Currently, the roof is open to the elements. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. As there is no tarp covering the roof, causing mold that may well infect the adjoining building at 18 Country Club Drive. Some of the windows are boarded up, but not all. This also represents a legal liability for the city of Newark if, for instance, a child or squatter is injured. I encourage the city to impose appropriate code review on this property. I was also distressed to learn that as it stands now, there's every indication that the property will not be repaired until 2022. This is a very serious issue affecting the neighborhood. Having just renovated the shopping center, we are now faced with another dangerous eyesore. Thank you for your attention to this matter. The second...
I would like to jump in there and ask that I think Mary Ellen Gray is on the line as well tonight, and the city manager to look into that. I do agree with Mr. Anderson that it's some concerns of mine, and one other concern that I might add to that is being open to the elements, the danger to the foundation of the building that could occur. So, Tom, if you and the planning director could look into that and report back to us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Your Honor. If I could give an update on that property, I spoke with the property owner this weekend, actually.
Go ahead.
Oh, there you are. Thank you. So I spoke. So it has been quite a long time, and Mr. Anderson's not the only resident that has offered some complaints about that building from an eyesore standpoint and concerns about the safety. In regards to longevity, apparently there was some issues going back and forth with the insurance company. That was resolved around March, but that's around when all the COVID issues hit. So they did reach their whatever payment or insurance settlement, however that worked out for them. They resolved that, but the time to complete drawings and all that extended longer than they had planned. But they have reached to where they at least said they're in the permitting process, and I'm sure staff could follow up to give an update on where we are with that in the days to come. But the anticipation is and hope is that if the permitting process goes smooth, which they anticipate, that the renovations would be complete by the end of the year.
Okay, thank you. Did you have anything, Tom? Okay, we're good. The next speaker.
The next person who has requested public comment is Thomas Powers.
Okay, Mr. Powers, please.
Good evening, Mayor Clifton and members of the City Council. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you today. I would like to speak on the rather mundane and pedestrian issue of trash, specifically trash that is left outside of proper receptacles and the enforcement of city codes. So I have a longstanding concern about trash near my house, formerly near Park Place Apartments, now Lehigh Flats. I moved to Newark in July of 2006. I believe my complaints about trash began around July of 2006. After a series of complaints to the city, including to the city manager, finally in 2015, the offending trash dumpster was removed, only to return last year. So I don't want to make this set of comments parochial and only address to my own concerns, So if you would, please consider the following municipal code of the city of Newark, section 16-4, preparation of refuge and commercial refuge, which reads in part, all loose refuse except yard waste shall be wrapped, bundled, bagged, or otherwise contained before being placed in approved containers to prevent spillage and littering when collected. And it continues